Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Good to see you all back here. And I want to thank Hannibal for taking the time to come on tonight. I haven't talked to him in a while. I haven't seen him that much lately.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Got a little echo in there. I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, man. Also, congratulations on your engagement. I saw
Thank
that
you.
news
Thank you.
coming
Thank
on
you.
there. I don't know if I said it directly.
You
Congratulations,
did.
but
You did.
I did. Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, publicly, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, we can talk about a little bit of everything. I probably can tell you why I haven't posted as much as I used to, but yeah, we could talk about all that and more. I'm assuming.
So, hey, Kim, what's up? Hey, Thomas. Hey, Mort. Uh, Lisa. Who else did I just see? Lisa, Micah, Arturo, Will.
Oh, it's awesome to see the same, all the good people. Bud Soda's in here. He's in everything.
Yeah. Oh, is he here? Oh, I didn't even see down there. Oh, crap. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you for coming. And yeah, we're just kind of getting set up here. And yeah, I guess let's start off by how are the holidays? What's been going on? How are your kids? Been a good
One
holiday?
kid. Actually, today is my son's birthday. He just turned 8.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, time is flying by, bro. It's flying by. And it's
Mine's
funny.
15. I
It's
get
also
it.
funny. Yeah, it's funny. It's January 6th, and I'm excited about January 6th. But it's one of the dates that, if you follow the news, it's a big deal. But, but yeah, the holidays were great. Really busy doing the dog stuff. Like that's my main source of income, Rover. So private clients as well. So I'm dog walking, cat sitting, and I did pretty well this holiday. It was busy,
I
but
saw your
very good.
biggest tip ever, right?
It was mind blowing. Yeah, $117. I've never been tipped that much money in my life. It was a dog that was a little nervous. It was kind of those dogs where the clients, that the parents were kind of nervous about going away without the dog, and just great customer service. Just making sure that hey, your dog is gonna be fine with my care, and he did. His name is Wilbur. And I took care of him really well. Like I always say when I'm talking to clients or talking to anyone about taking care of dogs, it's not rocket science. Like I'm just hanging out with your dog, but it could be depends on the
Well,
kind of dog. So
but it is because I mean I've had dogs my whole life, and I mean like anything can go wrong. You're never off the clock.
exactly. But also I have my wife that helps me out, so it was pretty easy time. Just busy but very very lucrative holiday season. A lot of people traveled this holiday season.
Yeah, I would imagine on Rover you always do well in the holidays.
That's what I've been trying to preach, and I think I'm going to do another Rover video, but it's a good source of income. I know many of the people who watch the channel and follow the gig economy. It's more of the idea of going outside to make money. Like you're going out, either you're in your car, or you're doing something. You're leaving the house.
Right.
So, but I still think it's a good idea to have. You can have a dog in the house, and if you have a significant other in the house, you say, "Hey, just hang out with the dog. I'm gonna go out for a couple hours." Doing anything else, the DoorDash or Grubhub, and you're getting paid for the dog that's at your house, and you're going out to do so. It's a good way to make money, and people are traveling despite what's all going on. People want to go see their loved ones, they want to go on vacations, and they have pets, and
Yeah.
they
Well,
have dogs.
here they seem to want you to go to their houses. That's what I've noticed. Or I don't do Rover, but I have friends that do, and I know that like if you don't have a place for the holidays, you can
Yeah,
almost like go live in some fat pad for a few weeks,
there's
kind of thing. And
there's a really old article on a Rover. I think she still does Rover. That she basically earned about 80K in a year. She did not pay rent. So it's basically she just goes to house sitting to house sitting. And then I guess the days that she doesn't have the house sitting, she would just get like a room or something like that. And she was able to accumulate this kind of money because she was just always busy. She was in Manhattan as well. So one of the good things about Rover is you have a profile and you have reviews. So the more you're on the platform, your name goes on the top of the search because if someone is searching for a dog, a pet sitter. So I've been doing this since 2008 or 2018. So when someone looks for a dog sitter in my area, I'm usually the first one that pops up. So that's what helps. You got to kind of to build the business a little bit.
so if I'm in Brooklyn and I'm on the other side of Brooklyn than you, and let's say there's 3 other Rover walkers in between you and me, but they're new, it's not a proximity thing. It's not going to show them first. It's going to show you because you have more stars and ratings.
I think it's a little bit of both. But I've had clients where I had to literally go, like, I didn't know this, but we're talking and whatever, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I live in a city." So I'm like, "You're in a city. How you picked me up?" So it's a little bit of proximity. Like, they'll show a map of all the, I guess, the proximate areas of where the sitters are residing. But I think it's kind of the same thing with everything else. You kind of go off of reviews. Same thing if you're shopping for Amazon, you want to look at the reviews, you want to read those reviews. And I think the people who have the most reviews, and if it's all 5 stars, you get to read all the comments, those are going to persuade you more than how close the person is. Because you are taking care of their kids, the dogs, what they call fur babies, which I can't stand that term. But some people really care about their dogs, really care about their cats. So reviews are probably the most important part.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if the algorithm even skipped those newbies. Like, man, you haven't done this yet. We don't know how you'd perform. Just give it to Hannibal. He's got we actually know how he does.
Probably because the first, one of the obstacles, like one of the things you have to go through, struggle, is when you first start. Because I'll be honest, if I'm looking for someone to take care of my dog for a week and you don't have any reviews, I don't know where to run off on. I don't know how to go off on. So I'm going to go with someone who has a few reviews. So that's probably the struggle in the beginning of getting your rep out there. But once you get it, you get the ball rolling, and you actually do a good job, you get clients coming to you.
But you always, I mean, there's just no way. You always meet your clients before you start working for them.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's another thing. That's a good experience for everybody too, even if you're not getting picked up, just to go through that all the time.
It's a very great skill. Customer service skills, talking to strangers, selling yourself on your services. These are the kind of things that are extremely important when you're trying to work for yourself. And, one of the things I always like to talk and preach to, not necessarily preach, but talk to, the people that check my channel out, that there's more to it than, Doordash, UberEats, those are great. But when you're really trying to become an entrepreneur, or at least get to that level, you're going to have to need to be able to communicate and sell yourself and sell your services. So just actually before I hang out with you right now, I had to go to a house and talk to a client about a dog that may be taking care of Martin Luther King holiday. And I had to sell myself and talked about how long many dogs. So it's a very important skill. I think that's one of the most important skills. If you're able to sell yourself, you'll be fine, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that the more times you go through that, even if you're not one of those people who's comfortable with it or whatever, I think the more times you go through it, each time like almost doubles how good you are at it.
Yeah,
it's not like it's not a slow increase. It's like you do one, you're kind of twice as ready for the next one.
Yeah, because you learn how to, calm down. You want to be able to communicate and be able to be comfortable. You're not nervous. Because that's one of the most important things about sales, and any kind of sales, is the ability to be comfortable and ability to be competent. So when you're explaining something, you have conviction, you know exactly what you're talking about. That helps the person say, okay, I'll take your services over to someone else that maybe have all the competency, but if you're not able to, you can't able to express that to the person you're trying to sell to, it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, right now of all times, we need those skills back. You know what I mean? Because we've all been locked in our houses and we forgot how to talk to people.
Yeah. And it affects the animals too. The idea that, your dog was with you all the time for a full year, you decide to go to the grocery store, you decide to go, not a grocery store, go to a friend's house for a few hours, and dog rips up everything in your house because it's just not used to, it's not used to that yet. So it's a transition for a lot of people, even animals, when it came to the lockdowns and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So now coming out of the holidays, are you just as busy with it? Are you?
So this is actually the first kind of quiet time. Like, I have one dog left, and actually tomorrow that dog leaves, and I'm have a little mini vacation this weekend. I'm just going to go to the Catskills for a while. Nice. So things it'll taper down. Like, I have a few gigs here and there. So, but it's, I think a lot of people spend a lot of money for the holidays, so it's going to be a little slow, probably until spring. I would assume like some spring breaks, some stuff like that.
I was gonna bring that up too and say that, right now I've been seeing all these gig workers posting and stuff and doing live streams that they're like, it's so slow. I don't know about you, but I mean, you might know this from years past. I know this from years past, and anybody in this room can. I hate to say this, but the next couple of weeks are just notoriously very slow, people.
Yeah.
I mean, very, very slow. People are pinching dollars. They're trying to figure out financially where they're at. Taxes are around the corner. It's just a bad time. Holidays just ended.
Bills, all the things they spend. I was just talking to my wife about it. I'm like, how much money you spend on Christmas for this boy? And now she's going to try to scramble, try to figure out. I mean, like, so everyone is doing that. And yeah, I worked at a small business for almost 10 years at a dog boarding facility. Yeah, we knew, okay, we work really, really hard for Christmas and New Year's, but then January, we all kind of take a deep breath. Now, The owner probably didn't like that, but because, revenue dropped because it's January, February. It's cold and people are staying in, not travel. So, yeah, definitely the next couple of weeks is kind of slow. But Uber Eats, I remember last year doing Uber Eats, and I was doing pretty well. I think we had some snowstorms, but I was actually doing pretty well on Uber Eats. But that was 2021. But I was doing pretty well. This year is a little different, clearly.
Yeah.
But what's going on?
Maybe we should talk about what's going on with. I mean, people already know about it, but maybe we should talk about what's going on with Uber Eats and you specifically. Yeah. What just happened? You saw it firsthand.
Well, yeah. So I think especially the people who are checking out the channel right now, the live stream, they're fully aware of it. But I talked about this a month ago on a video about the Uber Eats basically punishing you for cherry picking. You cherry pick too many times, they had a message saying, "Hey, listen, you better take these next couple of offers without declining them, or we're not going to show you certain details about the trip." Now, I'm just paraphrasing, but it's some message that was like that. And that was a month ago, but it never affected my market. But I did notice other people in other markets saying that they got either the message email or the message that the official message this was going to happen. And now I realize, and I noticed this for the last maybe 24 hours. And if you go on Reddit, you go on Facebook, everyone is posting the delivery. It just says delivery. And go a location, a pin, like go there, nothing else. Either going to say one delivery or two. There is no mileage. There's no restaurant.
At least they're showing you one thing. They're showing
the one thing. Like you go and do this. Go here. What it is? No idea. So It kind of reminds me of like the Uber Connect thing where they'll say go pick a package to deliver it. I think it was called Uber Rush at one point a couple years ago. But I never took those offers because I don't know what you asked me to get. So
and that was I don't remember if it was a Connect because I don't remember, but it was out in the Bay Area. I remember there was a little thing going on, and a guy doing Connect got pulled over going into Marin County, crossing the Oakland Bridge, cutting through San Francisco. He was followed the whole way, and when he got there, he got pulled over, and somebody had put in the trunk four things of sneakers in a bag, like new sneakers.
Yeah.
And when they opened it, it was all cocaine and heroin.
Damn. Yeah.
And I mean, I remember I was like, see, that's what I always thought Connect would be. I was like, it's just a way for drug dealers to lowball their fucking drivers.
Yeah, like an unwilling participants of really terrible merchandise.
Connect pool. We'll stop at multiple drug dealers' houses.
I don't remember. I don't know what the service is called, but I remember a couple of years ago it was something where you can get someone to transport anything to somewhere else.
Yeah, because you were just sticking it in the trunk or the car for them.
Yeah. So, but I never took those. So it looks like they're, I don't know. It's just Uber is just trying to find ways to get these orders done. And they're trying to punish people who are trying to exercise their right to pick and choose what offers they want. So if I looked at that app and did that and they kept showing me those kind of offers, I probably would never use Uber Eats. I can't.
But they're all kind of doing it right now, don't you think? Like DoorDash is always doing it. Even Grubhub right now is using a punishment of like, I'm not exactly specific on it, but I know it has something to do with you have to wait. You have to sit there with the order. They're watching where you are. So if you were sitting there and they're like, it's going to be a half hour before that's up and you go try and stick in another order, they're going to you're done.
Yeah. The algorithm, the control, they want more control of the independent contractors. They want more control.
They want you sitting there though, waiting.
Yeah, they don't like how things are going. They're pressed to get this money, to get the profitability going. And I think it's a slippery slope. this is just another iteration of what, yeah, like you said, they're all doing some kind of elements of it. But for me personally, it basically breaks the whole game apart. Like it's a game breaker. Like, okay, if I have Uber Eats and I need to make certain money and I need to make sure I'm in a certain area where I know where, okay, if I drop this off, I'm going to be another place where I can make another good offer. Now I don't know where the hell I'm going to end up. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to get this order delivered from a place I'm not sure it is to go and deliver to somewhere else. I don't know where I'm going to end up, the area I'm going to be in.
Is it just one? Remember how when you and I first heard about it, it was you were gonna have to do like 3 blind ones or whatever.
Well, it looks and that's why some people are saying maybe it's a glitch. I don't think it's a glitch, but yeah, like some people say, okay, you can it'll do that weird thing and then it'll go back to normal in the next one. But
so kind of like a dash or pause where you can just turn it off and then turn it back on. It's gone.
It's possible. It could be just something they're just trying to beta test. But the fact that we talked about it a while ago, and now more and more people are just going on Reddit, screenshotting those offers. I think they want this done. They want they don't want you to stop. They want you to stop declining so many orders. And they're like, well, then basically get out of my way, and we'll give the information to the people who are taking any offers that we give them. You know, I mean, we punish you,
right?
Basically,
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, like, it's just weird to me that they're all three doing it right now. You know, it's like, you know, it's like I always tear my hair out whenever I'm thinking about Lyft. Mm-hmm. You know, like Lyft could do something. They're the only other rideshare name that could actually compete with Uber if they shook it up a bit.
Yeah.
They just keep that same old crap rolling. And then it's like these same thing with the big name Grubhub, Uber Eats, Doordash. It's like as soon as one goes to we're going to go to like 10 times jackass mode to the drivers. And in January, you guys want to do it too? And like the other 2 companies are like, sure, we're on board. And they're all going to do it.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's similar to the NFL. Like when a tactic is used that's doing well, all the other teams will try to copy it. I remember that, I don't know if you're a football fan or not, but a couple of years ago, there was the formation of the Wildcat where the quarterback didn't even hike the ball. It was either like a running back or something like that. And it was kind of interesting. It was kind of confusing defenses for a while. But then eventually almost every team had a package, that formation that included the Wildcat. Like once, I think one of these companies, they're all probably infiltrating each other. So I'm sure there's espionage, all types of weird stuff. Once they realize something is working, or if they think it's working, they all going to copy it. So that's the same thing like you're saying with Uber. And it kind of starts with Uber, right? In the beginning of all this, right? Yeah. And Uber and ethics don't belong together, right? Like talking to you, I didn't realize how unethical Uber, the company, has behaved. Not just I did it, just they're picking up all these independent contractors who've had terrible like sexual assault cases, but just going into markets that we're not legally able to go into. So of course it's supposed to happen, right? Just unethically trying to control us.
Just so you guys know, I sent Hannibal over the break. I sent him like some of the worst Uber stories of the past 5 years. Like, it
was mind blowing, man.
I mean, they really are bad. I mean, you look at them and it's like every one of them you might not know, but as soon as you read it, it's just your jaws on the floor. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's and you can tell like they're going to put more penalties. And then look at the Amazon. Like I know they have the Amazon Flex, have some elements of the independent contractor work, but they're really into penalties, right? Everything is they want to make sure that your performance level indicators, they are at a certain level, and if you're not performing at their level through their algorithm, they'll let you go. And I think we're becoming more of that. We're just numbers. And if we're not putting out the numbers they expect, then they're like, to hell with you. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of always been the case, but now they're doing it defiantly and like
in your face.
In states like let's use California here and pick on it for a minute. Yeah. I mean, only because they got AB5 and then they got Prop 22. Now Prop 22 is being dissected. Might not even hold up in court, and none of the 600 lawyers that were involved noticed that was part of the California Constitution. Not one of the lawyers realized. I mean, I am mind blown that not one lawyer said, "Hey, you know what? This is against the Constitution."
I think it's kind of like, and this is gone. We can go further into it, but yeah, the corporations. But it seems like it just bull rush. They just want to bull rush things that they know that it wouldn't be like I said, lawful maybe 20, 30 years ago. But it's like, no, we're gonna just bull rush this thing, and we'll get enough people to change it when we got the time. And I don't know if Uber was the one. Again, going back to Uber, it just feels like they're the ones that was like, let's be the disruptor. That was supposed to be, and certainly of a good thing of providing opportunities, but it got into the negative point of being like, we're going to just do whatever we want, forget the laws, forget what we're doing. So it's a really disappointing time.
I see Thomas said here, I heard Lyft is going food delivery. Yes, they are. It's really sad.
You think that's what Lyft is doing in terms of trying to be different? It's like, well, we'll do food delivery.
Well, so let me see if I can bring it up here, because I did have it ready. Again, guys, I'm still getting new at this StreamYard thing.
I'm assuming Lyft is doing it just to compete with Uber, because I'm sure a lot of Uber drivers probably switch on and off between Uber Eats and rideshare. That they were like, okay, stay on our platform a little longer, and you can deliver food too. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do this.
Don't worry. Eventually, it's a little learning curve.
Well, I don't know how to. I didn't know how to drag it in, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here trying to share, and I am on a Mac, but I'm also on Chrome, like I should be, because on Firefox it wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of things, but
he pressed the wrong button. Steve pressed the wrong button. He'll be back. I might as well read the comments since he bounced. Oh, there you go. He came back. There you go.
But I heard you. We can catch up with some comments here. I'm not going to touch that again until I learn it.
Yeah, listen. Just like anything else, you gotta do it. Go through the painful, the painful parts of learning, and you be fine.
So we got Roy's in here now. What's up, Roy? What's up, Lebowski? What's up, William? Kim's still here. Thomas, Arturo's still here. Hey, Marissa, there's my fiance. There's Dasher Pass is here. What's up? And Dasher Pass will be on this stream next week, by the way. And so
she's awesome.
Yeah, to her, I'm putting this out right now because of a couple videos that she made. Is that we're gonna be talking about some AB5 and some Massachusetts bills, and I know you know that stuff. So
she's right there.
I know. She made a video about it too. She knows what's up. So we're gonna be talking about that.
Awesome.
But yeah, it looks like I think we've got everybody pretty much. I haven't checked the comments. I'm just getting to that, but.
The Turo does it all. Said open your trunk. Don't worry, it's a dead body. Going back to the idea for
but you're not Arturo. You're not supposed to know that. Just don't look. If you're doing Connect, just make sure that you're like on your dash cam, turn it towards you, and that you're looking straight ahead out the windshield. Then turn the other one to the trunk. So later, you say, I don't know what happened, but you can watch the video.
Only one video I've heard someone talk about doing one of those, and it was some big, large, either piece of furniture or TV. It was big, it was cumbersome. They had to spend a lot of time. And I think the person wound up saying it wasn't worth even doing it, but it wasn't as because I'm thinking when that thing is blinking, gold's over here. I'm like, I don't know what you're not giving me any information. Who am I talking to? What is the object? Not enough information, and it weirds me out, so I don't take those offers.
Yeah. So, one of the things that is up in the news right now, and Hannibal and I were talking a little bit before we came on here that oh wait, I never noticed that. Let me see if I can. Okay. Gig Lebowski, I just fixed that for you. So, but yeah, so the TikTok video, the one that I guess is streaming right now, that's the tip baiting, and I've before even talking about that, it's funny because I know before I even noticed it was in the news today, I might have been yesterday too. But I put this out because it was one of the things I really wanted to see that I think is a plausible change for this year. Is that because Uber and Lyft started, paying drivers so much money, but making a ecosystem of no tipping, and in a system where people knew there should be tipping. I mean, like when people start Uber and Lyfting, like they knew there should be tipping. But I mean, for 3.5, 4 years, that was even in my market longer if you go back to the California days, but you couldn't tip through the app. They made it specific. There was no option. You couldn't even go dig and find it. They didn't want you doing it. They made it sound like the drivers are paid enough money. They don't need the tips. Don't worry about it. So they created a culture that did that.
I would say as a customer of Uber, when it was like, okay, no cash is being passed, even to discourage, no cash. You paid what you've paid, like you pay on the app, and that was it. There was no, and it kind of worked because like you said, I assumed, I was ignorant. I assumed that the Uber driver was getting paid until they start to talk and have a conversation, and they would complain about how certain things were. But if you didn't say, you didn't ask how they were doing about, you would assume, okay, they're being taken care of.
Well, see, this is how they were smart, though. I mean, I hate to say it, but their business move was smart. It hurt us tremendously, but in the beginning, they were paying me so much to drive, I didn't need a tip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'd be so well off at the end of the night that I would tell good stories to the passengers and this and that. Like, yeah, I get paid well.
Yeah.
So it was almost a trick. We're onboarding people. We have to do it by paying them more and supplementing the pay. We're not letting them tip. But here's my idea is that even the rideshare can be changed. Every gig app should end when you're ordering, when you're summoning a car, when you're doing whatever, it should end with what tip would you like to place on it, where you can obviously say none, but where you have to go through that screen. That's part one. Make it a flow screen at the end of every app out there, every gig app out there. Number two, if you put whatever you put in for a tip, that tip is locked. No more tip baiting. That tip's locked. If I put in $5 and within 24 hours, like all of them have or longer to change it, I can add more to it, but I can't take $1 off it. However, obviously people would say here that, well, what if the service sucked and you wanted that tip back? Okay, you can do that, but you have to take the time to call customer service and have your call recorded.
I think that's a good idea. Have them go through the annoyance of calling, because that will probably stop a lot of the tip baiting off the bat, because just the idea of doing extra work
and that you can't get it back.
Yeah.
I mean, because really, like, who wants to be recorded?
Yeah.
So if you're tip baiting, it's like, if man, then I got to call in, they're going to record it. I mean, even though they can't like arrest you for that kind of thing, it's like if they're recording it after 2-3 times, or even to the customers, which they would probably never delete, they'll delete you.
At least that idea, that extra step will probably discourage a lot of that tip baiting. Because like, well, now you have to come with a real reason of why. And then the idea of they can investigate, even though they probably get so many orders, but just that extra level will stop that. So I think that's a great idea. And I understand that the tip thing is just going to be something that going to be talked about to the end of time, just to what we have to deal with in terms of we need these tips to kind of make it. And the customers in their minds, some have different ideas of why am I subsidizing your job, blah, blah, blah. But it's just something that's going to keep going back and forth. But I do like that idea with the calling customer service. That's a brilliant idea.
Something of the nature. I mean, like William says here, question, why would Uber make this change you speak of? How would it help the Uber company? Well, here's my answer on that. It wouldn't hurt the Uber company at all. And it would help the drivers tremendously. And the PR alone, Uber needs. People are starting to get turned on to fake Uber PR. They now know. They know Uber's not an ethical company. They know that they're, everything about them can be questioned. But I mean, when I say these kind of things too, people realize that every company's like that to some level. And if they could be worse, they all would be.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
that a lot of industries have oversight committees and things that look into this. We're still, I mean, even though it's not the wild, wild west days of the gig economy, we're still in the wild, wild west economy because we don't have laws and rules and regulations. And, you know, we're still like lawless county, and it's
yeah. I mean, we're all fighting for transparency, right? That's one thing we like to talk about, but not most companies are not transparent. I mean, that's just the culture, corporate culture is to get profits by any means.
right.
They have politicians in their back pocket. So it becomes a little difficult to kind of figure that out. But I do agree with you as well, Steve, that the idea that Uber is not, Uber has a lot of problems. I think a lot of these companies have a lot of problems, and a lot of them want to just keep bulldozing and just keep, again, the Amazon model. We'll just keep bulldozing you and get your stuff as fast as possible, even though the way we're doing it, it's a lot of exploitation of people and resources. But you want that package in 2 days, right? You want that Uber to come, and you want it cheap. And I think they realize that the customers are the true ones that they will continue to keep this ship afloat no matter how unethical it is, because we want things as fast as possible. We want things as cheap as possible. And we become extremely entitled. Restaurants, how some of the customers are super angry and rude and just plain kind of mentally ill a little bit. Airlines, how some of the flight passes, more fights are happening on flights. Like, just going back to the beginning, we're becoming more and more, we're taking, you know, we're not as social as used to be, and we're just really, really frustrated all the time.
I mean, honestly, what did people expect? I mean, here's the thing. I think every one of us can agree. We were all, the month of April 2020, we were all so blindsided. And I'll admit it. I mean, fear, just fear, like what's going on? Where's my family? What the hell? I got to stay at where? I got to be here all the time.
Yeah.
I got to wear a mask to the store. It's dangerous to go there. They're out of toilet paper. What's going on? Like, I mean, that was literally fear. And then it started getting a little better. And I would say by like June, even when it was spiking again and all the riots were starting and all that stuff, and the protesting, I was thinking, okay, well, this pandemic will end soon. I don't remember having a timeline or anything in my head, but I remember thinking it will end soon. And here we are 18 months after that, 20 months since the pandemic, 21. And it's, I mean, and now this little Omicron thing, like it got my son's school shut down. And he hadn't had one day missed this year at school. Like, I mean, they had all in person. This was the first time we shut down this week.
There's still a lot of change happening. And even in terms of a job, we are independent contractors, but, you know, just the W-2 is another 4-point-something million people quit in the month of November. People are looking at their lives differently. They have different priorities, and they want something different. They don't want to work in certain kinds of industries anymore. You know, that's why we kind of get stuck where we go to a restaurant and we're waiting forever for the food. It's not the small business owner's fault. It's just there's not enough employees. They don't, you know, the work is not. They can't get the kind of labor they need to keep things going. So it's still something that we're still trying to figure it out. We're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I know. It's just, you know, we're not. It's so weird, man, because, you know, I've been over to Europe to do concerts and stuff, and Europe's pretty like contained. You know, it's like the size of the United States. When you think about it, and you're not looking at a globe, you'd think, oh, Europe's huge. It's really not that big. You know,
like road trips, you could just drive through different countries. Right?
Yeah, it's almost like driving through states. It's just, it's, you know, and I mean, a little more, but it's, you know, I always think of it like that. Like, well, they all get on their same pages. Yeah, well, they're countries. But we can't get all on the same page here. And I'm not just talking red and blue states. I'm talking any state. No state can get on the same page with any other state on how they want to handle things. And that's something that through this whole pandemic has been off and has been just messing everything up.
But I do feel like it's a copycat situation with some of these laws. Like I said, AB 5 and like the Prop 22. And I think, like you said, that the big, you know, I can say blue states, but, you know, the big states, California, New York, like whatever they do may affect everybody else, right? So like, and I'm sure New York I'm sure they do it. I haven't kept up with it, but I'm sure they're going to try to do something. because there's a lot of people here who do delivery full time, probably more than anyone else. I'll be honest, because a lot of them from from down south, not down south, South America. On e-bikes, working a lot of hours, and a lot of them are probably getting, they're probably taking all the bad offers, and they're probably, and most of them come together and they talk to politicians trying to say, hey, this is not right. And then, politicians try to control the companies, and then they fight back. So we'll see what happens with, especially what's happening in New York. Like, it's more regulations going to happen.
So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Massachusetts, I think New York, I think that New Jersey's trying to slide. New Jersey's actually following AB5. They're actually trying to already like carve out things. I don't know if you saw, I did a video with Kim Cavan a few weeks back that was that we just kind of did last minute, because she went down to the state house and was fighting them because they were doing carve outs for their legislation in New Jersey. Let's AB5 like already pre-doing it. And she got down there, and the only thing they were doing that day was caddies.
Yeah, tell me another mind blown situation.
I mean, and the whole reason being that all of these politicians who live there want the golf courses over. They want their caddies.
It's.
I mean, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, that's a perfect word. Disgusting, and how things are manipulated, and all we want, just of everyone to have a little fair market, fair shot. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, we don't know how this gig economy may mutate next year. Like I was just telling you now, last year, 2021, it was snowing, it was cold. I was on UberEats and not having any problems. I was like, all right, cool. And now I put it on and they're telling me, we ain't telling you anything. You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen next year? Like, it's UberEats. Right. I was just thinking about, like, why don't they just start hiring people then? Like, just do what Doordash is doing with 15 minutes. Like, hire, like, if you want people just to, I say blindly, but just to do a job, like, all right, and get employees to do this. I don't, like, it's baffling, man. Yeah,
I mean, it is, and luckily, like, a lot of people know, we've talked about ProAct a ton, but luckily that didn't go through. I mean, that would have been all of us in one fell swoop, and I think that people were just like, that can't happen. And yes, it didn't happen, but I don't think that, I mean, I was really in the midst of all this with a lot of people, and I got to tell you, it was so much closer than anybody I know in the gig economy thought. They're like, that's not going to happen. I'm like, and I was going, I don't think so either. And then every week for a while, it was getting worse. And I'm like, man, it actually looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, and who knows if it will, like, things may change. You never know. Like,
well, as a whole, it won't go through, but they're already breaking it into pieces and shoving those pieces into other packets. And so, yeah, they might get it through in pieces, but maybe not all of it. I don't know. It's such a scary thing. But even the one thing that, there's not much people can do on the ProAct level, not like us, like people who do, like some of the guests I've had on who deal with AB5 and stuff, who are very political. They know how to deal on that level, but all of us can deal on our local levels. And we all got to watch our states, because all these states are being targeted to flip this way. I mean, and it's, even if your state is against it, like, we will never do that. I mean, they send union money in there until you will do it, kind of thing. Lorena Gonzalez this week got taken out of, she got moved out of her spot, and she was the one that co-drafted AB5 with Vina Dubal. She got taken out as the assemblywoman, and now I can't remember her new position, but it's scary. She's like going to be she's going to be the California financial overseer to 2.1 million union workers.
Oh boy, that's a lot of power.
I mean, they just gave a power to a person that absolutely does not need this power or should not have it at all.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are leaving California for many reasons. But the same thing with New York too. Like, a lot of people are leaving New York. And, I've thought about it as well. Like, there's certain reasons why I can't just pick up and go. But yeah, I still believe in states' rights. I still believe that you should be able to go to a state that kind of follows the values, because that's what it is now. We're becoming so fragmented that if they have laws that kind of follow your values, it's a good idea to go live there compared to living somewhere where your values are not being met, or the crime or whatever that's going on. So, it's something I think about every once in a while.
So yeah, I was kind of getting a feeling when we were starting this up that I was kind of waiting for it, but that you were gonna kind of say that you were moving in some direction here or something, because I don't know, it was just a vibe I was getting when we were talking.
Nothing that serious, not yet. I mean, I think I have a plan to do that, but in terms of what a gig work, and to be honest, like I love taking care of dogs. It's good. And it's my main source of income, and DoorDash and Grubhub are, things are there. It's nice for right now, but I tell you, like my new gig work or something I would like to do full time would be making videos like this YouTube stuff. I think that's the gig that I enjoy. Like that's the thing I'm passionate about. I spend my time trying to learn how to make good videos and learning what works and what doesn't work. So like that's my independent contractor dream of just either helping people make videos or make videos myself. So I'm still thankful for these nefarious companies because they were able to help me in a time I needed it. Absolutely. And open up a different path of life that I didn't think I was 2-3 years ago I didn't think I was going to do this. So you got to take the good with the bad is probably what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
I mean, each person has their own, had their own definition of the gig economy, but we're all in it for the same reason.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're all in it to make money. That's the bottom line. You're never going to ever be happy with the money you make at a W-2 or in the gig economy. You're always going to want more, people. That's a fact. I mean, you can go, if you're like, I'm sick of this, I'm going to go get a boss. Wow, I'm going to get paid this. All of a sudden, a couple months down the line, you're going to want to kill that boss and you're going to want to have more money and your dental plan's going to suck. And all this is going to be like, why did I do this? You're going to quit and come back. You're always going to want more. It's about being happy. Be happy.
And sometimes we're not satisfied, right? Like, I tell this to my wife, like, you're never satisfied. It's like the idea that it is times when I not say I wish I had a W-2, but there were times like, I wish, I'll just get up and kind of just do the same thing. And I don't have to worry about, is this going to be a busy day or not? The expectation is not worrying about that because it's the same thing with W-2s. She works at W-2s. Every day is the same. But at the same time, you're not learning any other skills. It's just becomes such a repetitive situation. You're dealing with, like I said, bosses. And I think nothing that sucks your soul faster than dealing with a group of people that don't align with your values of working hard, for instance, or having a good work ethic or being respectful. So it's
especially if they're your boss.
It's
that's something I've encountered a handful of times. Somebody that's just a lazy boss, dude, who's just like, do this, and I just know out of the gate, man, I better start looking for a different job because this ain't gonna work out.
I think that's why a lot of people are quitting. Like like what they call it, the great resignation. Like people are done with this. They're done of the cubicle life of doing a job they don't think is fulfilling to them. They're looking for something more. And I think, gig work is a great way of kind of figuring that out. Like you're doing you're doing work that is valuable. Obviously, you're doing something, and no, it's not perfect. And you're not going to become a millionaire doing this. Sometimes we look at the extreme examples of someone making six figures. Like, it's possible certain markets, but you keep it going until you kind of figure out what else you're interested in doing. Like it's that I guess that bridge that can get you to something more special in your life. Or if you just love doing it, then more power to you.
That's my main thing is that like you, if somebody offers you a great W-2 gig tomorrow doing exactly what you just said about creating on YouTube, and they said, Hannibal, not only that, we're going to let you just be the creative director on all the projects, you get to run the whole show, but it's a W-2 job, I have a big feeling you'd take it.
Because I don't have the.
You just said you love it, man.
It's not I think in our group, or not even a group, but just look at people who are quitting. We have like an anti-W-2 feeling right now. And because how many places are trying to do the strikes? Kellogg's, obviously the Amazon, I think John Deere. There's so many companies where people are just fed up and they're on strikes. They're tired of this. Can you just give us some simple, basic, some increases so we can actually afford some of the stuff? And especially with Kellogg's, I think they actually finally got something done over there. But it is crazy that we have to go through all this. But that's what you gotta fight for you gotta fight for a lot of your rights and more resources. I think it was one comment, and I think Thomas asks, as a driver, how do we fight without all the garbage? That kind of goes with what you're saying. Like, you got to kind of really make sure you're checking out your local politicians, institutions. Like, what are they doing, and really hold them accountable. I don't really know what else you can really do.
Yeah, I mean, we live in a culture of, people were asking me, what do you do? Like, because I was just talking with on this week's on the podcast with Jason Thierry about actually, I gave, and if any of you were there, I take that advice back. Don't shake your congressman. I gave some bad advice. Jason was like, "Man, you can get in trouble for this." I'm telling you. He's like, somebody's gonna do it, but don't do that. But honestly, like, writing them emails, trying to get through their secretary, that's not really going to do you much good. However, I've learned from all these ladies that I've been doing stuff with for AB5 and all this that really know their stuff, that you get the attention by literally finding them find when they're at the courthouse one day. You can find it on the docket, find your congressman. You can look on the state docket. You can see when they have actual appearances. Be outside of the room as it ends. See him and say, "Hey, excuse me, sir. I'm a constituent of yours." As soon as you say that, he's going to turn and give you every piece of attention he has, because he doesn't know who you know. He doesn't know how many people you're representing. He doesn't know what you're talking to him about. And like they told me, 9 out of 10 times, you'll tell them something that they're not even familiar with. Like, "Hey, listen, that bill that's going to be coming through that wants us to be all gig workers to be employees, not independent contractors. None of us want that. We don't want to see that." You might hear the answer, "I didn't even know that was a bill." And they're not kidding. They have so much on their plate, they don't know that yet. And like, they might, if an aid's near them, they'll be like, "Yeah, that's bill 5554227 dash." And he's like, "Okay." And all of a sudden, you're a big deal now.
Yeah.
Even though you're one person, you're a big deal, because he doesn't know what's behind you. But all he knows is that a gig worker took their time out of the day to come find him and say, "You better not, let this go through. Don't let this go through."
Yeah.
And also, a new thing is that a lot of people do is, if you have a shirt pocket, put your phone in it and have your video camera on. The politicians know it these days.
Everyone's
just have it videotaping. Go up. They're going to be very careful how they talk to you.
Yeah.
But even so, even without the phone trick, guys, like, I mean, I'm telling you, these guys in the like pro league, the superior dirtbag politicians, that might be out of all our leagues. But on the state level, you can go talk to your representatives, because it's very easily, if somebody gets a bad name in your town, it's pretty easy to punch them out of office.
Yeah, so sometimes one bad interaction, they said something inappropriate or something rude that gets looped up in a commercial somewhere, and that's about it.
I mean, just think, if they, exactly like Hannibal just said, like, just think if you were like recording him, and even if he said something, if you're like very professional, like, "I'm a constituent of yours, I have a concern, I just need 1 minute, I'll walk with you," and he was like, "Beat it, I don't have time." Can you imagine if you talk about going viral? You can go viral with that, and he's probably not getting elected.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be so easy to beat him after a layup like that. So they all have to be on their best behavior.
The power of social media is very, very, very important, especially with just some of these, bringing up these ideas. Like, TikTok has been like this thing that's kind of bringing some ideas to the forefront. Like, even the one a couple of weeks ago, where there was one where a person was just taking a picture of all of those McDonald's bags just sitting there. And then one person explaining, well, because those orders are sitting there because the person hasn't tipped. At least brings the idea to, like, okay, what's going on here? Oh, I didn't know that. Because a lot of people who use these apps don't understand the back end. They're not supposed to know the back end, right? It's supposed to be easy. You order what you want, you get it. You're not thinking about all the interworkings that are not for the best for everyone, but you don't know that until someone brings it out into the consciousness of using social media, like TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. So I think it's extremely powerful. I know Thomas put another comment. Everyone seems to say strike. And I know we don't go to striking talk for too long, but I've been full-time gig worker for at least over a year, and I've seen at least 3 strikes, and nothing has changed. At least some supposed strikes, the ones that we've talked about online and whatnot. Talking to people who have been doing gig work for multiple years, and all of them say it doesn't work. Don't bother. Like, don't either you don't, if the app is not giving you what you need, don't do it. But I think what you're saying, not necessarily strike, but go talk to the people who are running the show. At least some of your politics. That seems like a way more.
And that actually makes a difference.
Yeah, make a difference.
And
yeah.
Like Jason and I were just talking about that as well. Like, I mean, to be honest, man, if you strike, we don't even need to go on my view. Hannibal knows my view. I think all of you know my view, that I think the virtual strike is just dangerous. I think I think that they literally laugh at you at these companies. Like Jason and I were talking about this, and it's like, I think that at Instagram, they're like, okay, today's the big strike. And they turn to the guys, they're like in the tech team, and they're like, seeing any glitches in any city, they're like, nope, smooth sailing, sir. Like, it's like, they're not even feeling anything. Don't do it, guys. I mean, we were even talking about how probably at least half of the people on those platforms don't even know there's a strike going on.
I would say more than half.
I mean, like seriously, especially when you get into rural and stuff. Like, if they maybe watch the 6:30 news every night for a half hour. Instacart strike isn't on the 6:30 national news.
No.
So they just aren't seeing it. They don't even know you're doing it.
No, it's not.
I don't know. It's always been a nothing in my book. It's not. It's proved to. I never thought it would work the first time, but I think that we've seen, like Hannibal said, we've seen it 3-4 times. It's never done anything. It's not even created a hiccup.
Yeah, and that's just with my experience, just doing this, like at least being in the industry of talking to everyone for a year. I'm sure there were definitely more strikes before this, and nothing kind of came out. And I kind of look at, again, Uber. Even me before that saw some inkling, some stories about Uber drivers striking or fighting or protesting, and I could still go on my phone and get an Uber in 2 minutes.
Right.
I can get Uber right now probably in 2 minutes. There's a car riding around. I can go wherever I want to go in 2 minutes. So
what would the rate be? I mean, just compared.
The rates aren't that bad anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't know if everyone just
That's what I was going to ask. Is it kind of back to?
It's not that bad. I use it a few times, just when I don't feel like driving, I'm going to the bar. Which you're not supposed to, don't drive. So when I go to the bar, I do the Uber thing, and it's not that bad. So I don't know if people are going back to work, or the Uber guys are like, all right, I had my fun. It's time to go back and do the usual thing. And also I'm in Brooklyn. Marcus, I think the market's pretty good here. I think if you're an Uber driver, you're going to do pretty well.
I think we're starting to see that around the country, actually. Like, even though drivers are still doing really good on Uber, that's a good platform to be working, either rideshare right now. I can't say for sure on Lyft, but with Uber, talked about it with a few people lately, and I think it's a good platform right now if you want to make some money. But I do think that they're starting to fall back in their line with pricing, except for the airport. When the airport gets a lot of flights in, I still feel like they're doing 5-6 times from what I get sent to me from screenshots and stuff.
Probably, yeah.
It's not like a time and a half like it used to be. So the rates are back maybe in the city, but then at the airport, they're 6 times.
Yeah.
So you're still paying that ridiculous rate of what the heck?
Yeah, it's very, very market I guess dependent. And that's another thing too about the apps, like where if you're doing well with your app, then that's great. You don't need to change it. I mean, you may have to change it because eventually either it's saturated or something like that. So, but what your experience, what you have with Uber rideshare, is going to be totally different from my experience. We live in 2 different places, and I think a lot of that needs to be said too, because I feel like a lot of channels and a lot of information, you're like, I quit DoorDash today, and here's why. And like, well, if you're doing well in DoorDash, then don't worry about that video. It's nothing to do with you. You're not in that market. You don't have that situation to deal with.
So I gotta bring this up real quick, because I'm not sure you know this, but so all of my podcast listeners had been saying, you've done rideshare to the T, you've done food delivery, you've done curry, you've done this, that, the other, but you haven't ever done grocery shopping. And I'd heard it a bunch, and I was like, whatever. And I was thinking to what you said to Pedro, like try Instacart and how bad he hated it. Like, I was like,
oh, I feel so bad because like,
well, hold on,
go
hold on, because I think my story might be worse. And if I know he's
damn.
not in here now, but if he slips in, I hope he hears this because this is bad.
Okay, go ahead.
So I did 2 weeks of Shipt and Instacart. Now again, market to market, Shipt did really well for me. You know, it was around the holidays, but I was pulling 35 an hour.
Okay.
On average, and just going to, I went to Office Max once. Every other one I did was from the same Target near my house.
Nice.
So I just would go to Target. There was always orders. Boom. Did great. But I kept looking for an Instacart order, and I'm not kidding you, Hannibal. I couldn't find, every one I was like, this is dirt. This is dirt. I mean, there was no tip. It'd be like $6. It'd be 3 miles of driving, 62 items. I'm like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
So the other day I woke up and I'm like, I still haven't done one. I got to do this piece. And I've done like 40, 50 ships. I haven't done one Instacart. So I just woke up and grabbed the first one. I was just like, screw it. It's my store right there by my house. Boom. And it was a total of like $12.95. But here's the problem. It was for, it was one shop deliver. It was 3 miles away. That's already big for that amount of money. It showed that little fire sign, which means like Instacart surge, or I'm not sure what it's called, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's when like the order gets too close to the deadline from when the person ordered. Instacart has to start throwing money at it.
Yeah, try to get them. Someone.
So it's
someone
like,
do this.
yeah. So anyway, that's the little fire signs on it. It's, it shows the total. I just hit accept, and then I look at it, and it was $5 tip. It was like $4 or $3 or $4 surge, and the rest was what the pay would have been without the surge and with no tip. So if there had been no tip and no surge, that would have been a $4 hour run for me. But even as it was a $12.95 hour run for me. And that was like the best thing I saw. I just ended up taking something to take it. I can't tell you that around the holidays, I saw at least 5 a day, and I was looking every day, at least 5 a day that had no tip, that were under $6 and had more than 40 items. What is that? I'd rather go to Michigan, where I'm from, collect cans and go return them for 10 cents a piece.
I would say the app that got the most justified vitriol and dislike and hate, whatever you want to call it, last year, in my opinion, was Instacart. Even with UberEats doing this weird thing towards the end, which again, I think it's pretty terrible. Instacart, I feel like shoppers should get paid very well to be a personal shopper. It's not just the idea I'm picking up some food and delivering. I am shopping for your items. There's a level of, it should be a level of, because again, it's not just you going from one direction, picking up an order, like I said, plate of food and giving it to someone. You got to collect those items. You have to ask for suggestions. You have to, take pictures. You're a personal shopper. And the idea that someone could go in their, phone, boot up Instacart and see a $7 offer. It's just, it's criminal. What else can it be? It's terrible. It's disgusting. So I know, suggested to Pedro's, I thought maybe major market, major city. There's some people.
I'm a major market, major city too. And I saw what he saw. I saw the worst of that was the worst app I've ever seen.
I'll send you a YouTuber, after this, and this guy's making tons and tons of money, like tons. Of money.
Yeah,
and again, it's about the market. He's a
subscriber to bots. I've been learning about all that stuff too, and I obviously would never do that. That's just not my style.
I try to reach out to talk to him. I don't do a lot of live streams anymore, but I would love to talk to him, just like ask him questions. He says he doesn't do bots, but he's in Washington, D.C. area. He's in Virginia area. There's a lot of very wealthy people there. Yeah. So maybe he just got, what they call it, the honeypot, or like the gold, like he's just there. But it's just Instacart is just taking a beating on just.
I just don't know who's doing these orders even. When I see him, I'm like, dude, this isn't going to. So I was asking Jason, I said, maybe people are wise to it, like kind of like tip baiting. Maybe they're getting wise to it. And they're like, look, if I put this for whatever the basic pay is in their area? Like the lowest without a tip, like $5 or whatever, right? Okay, if I just put this in for the lowest possible, and they give me this 2-hour window, and if it goes outside of the window, it'll just get delivered anyway for that price. Maybe people are getting turned on to that.
Yeah,
Instacart's just throwing money at it until somebody does take it. But the people are getting turned on to, man, I can just do this.
Yeah, I'm sure. And the thing is, if you tip appropriately, like 20% on an Instacart, because I use Instacart to get groceries, and it comes in an hour. It comes like a snap of your finger. Sometimes I'm surprised how quickly it came just by tipping like a regular, like a normal person, like a 20% or even 30%. It comes like really fast. I'm not sure if Corner Shop is near your area yet.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't have it.
I've heard good things so far with Corner Shop. It seems like the offers are better. I've used Corner Shop as a customer. It comes really fast as well. So,
but it's like every Uber app out of the gate.
Yes, you got to deal with that. I think knowing where you're going.
They're always nice to you and paying you big and
making
you feel good.
Now I know, like you learn the gig game. Okay, when a new app comes to town, get it right now. Get it at the beginning is good. It's going to get worse. Like get it now. Get the great offers. But then maybe in a few months, it may not work,
Yeah. Okay. So what about, and this is funny because this rider who got stuck on I-95.
Oh, jeez.
But I know this is going to sound messed up to some people. But here's what's funny to me is that when I saw that story, I was like, that seems like a really low price to have him in the car that long. I mean, it's still wrong and all that, but I mean, like I expected it to be like $2,000.
It's funny that bill was even still there. Like once that person or the driver calls, they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's obviously is a disaster on this situation here. People are in the car for over 20. Like, no, don't worry about that. The bill was still there. Like that's one of the things about Uber. They just keep collecting terrible PR. Like they can't get out of their own way. But it's like, yeah, that's another one. Like, that's surprised when you saw that article. You're probably like, yeah, typical.
I don't know why they just don't send why couldn't they have sent the East Coast drivers in that vicinity? I mean, they know how to target like this. Why didn't they send all those people text saying, hey, if you have a rider, tell them their ride is being refunded. We'll pay you this. Yeah. They could easily send out a mass thing that even came through the app that said, we understand the storm and we'll sort it out with you.
It seems like, and this is multiple times, I've seen like when it comes to like really crazy weather, it seems like the apps are not fast enough to either turn it off or redirect it. They always seem to be slow because I remember the big bad, really terrible rainstorms that would happen a couple months ago in New York City. They still had people collecting orders while on bikes. Like, how are they still able to order? There's a really powerful rainstorm going on. Like, how they're still ordering food, but the apps are still working.
Why didn't those people? Well, because I mean, I know William. I know that some people were walking to the exits to get food and water and stuff. Yeah. I saw that they were bringing back water for other people. But I mean, what can you do if you're on a 5-lane highway and you're in the middle? And
there was tons of accidents. I mean, all there was a disaster down there. But even when you go further up north, Jersey, like accidents all over the place. People are driving like they're maniacs and they're driving too fast. They don't know how to drive in cold weather. There's just going to be more and more of that, unfortunately. You just got to be careful. Just be careful out there, guys.
Yeah, I know. But that is just crazy. So let's see and then the Uber or Lyft is going to be starting to do some food delivery, but it is a joke. I got some links open here that maybe we didn't get to that I'm going to put all in the show notes anyway, because you guys should look at them. But I guess the last one that we should really talk about, because it just gets me wrong, gets under my skin, is this DoorDash employees making $400K a year. And I don't know if you guys know this or if you've seen this. Yeah. But I mean, I know Hannibal has, but I don't know about the rest of you if you've seen this. But they're making them do one DoorDash a month, and these guys are getting livid. Yeah, who make like $500,000 a year. They're like, what? Like,
Yeah, there's been quite a few videos about it. Mostly on the idea like, would this work? And a lot of people are saying one delivery is not enough. That
Yeah.
it's PR. If they really want to, they're gonna have to put some more effort into it. I definitely believe that as leaders of a company, they should do it more than one delivery. I think like your CEO, all right, it'd be nice if he did it. 'Cause I know the Uber CEO did it for one day.
I was going to say Dara did it, but that was all a joke. It was all staged. Yeah. All his clients were his friends.
Yeah. But
Tony gets out in a DoorDash vehicle and there could be some problems.
Yeah, because he's very recognized. But I do feel like I think some of the leadership should do it. Should it to me, instead of the mandatory thing, like maybe it should have been something to be more incentivized. I don't know. I know we could say like, why that pretentious D-bag complaining about when he's making $400K, and I'm trying to think in his shoes. I don't know if just you hear my cat meowing? No.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as although you hear my cat's like meowing, screaming right now, but the idea that you're an engineer and you've worked hard to get to this position, and someone's telling you to go out and deliver something, and you're like, why am I doing that? Like, I'm an engineer. Like, I should be doing something else with my time. It could be also just pretentiousness. And hey, listen, I'm above that. And let's be honest, that's how it is for many people. Some people think I'm above delivering food. People have these kind of ideas. They think some parts of work is more important than others. But
I gotta say that the tech people of all people should be doing this.
Mm-hmm. Do you think one delivery a month?
No, I don't think one's enough. Yeah. I think that one of them needs to take a car out or two of them need to take a car out for a half a day and record 8 different camera angles, and then bring it back and dissect it with the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it should be more, at least, if you're going to do it right. Yeah. Put more concentrated, not just, we dash program. It feels very light and fluffy, like a fluffy PR piece.
And there'll be a way that they don't have to do it. They're going to get out of it. It's not like, I'm sure right now they're telling them, hey, that's just the news. You're not really going to have to do it.
And I feel like that guy who did, he did it on a platform where it was anonymous. And, I think it's called Blind, the app. You have to have a work email. They're only talking to each other. So it's really just, Microsoft employees with DoorDash employees. Really, there's all technical type stuff. But no one's going to ever publicly come out and say, I don't want to do this, because you know how bad that would look.
Right.
So we're looking at it as in terms of like, okay, as DoorDashers and DoorDashers customers and merchants, is this program going to help DoorDash? And that's another question as well.
I don't know if anything has helped DoorDash, so far. Every time they try something, I feel like I have better ideas, and I feel like mine are worth giving some legs to too. I'm not just throwing them out there. Like, they're ones that could stick. I feel like their ideas are just, every time I'm blown away by how horrible they are.
And do we really believe that they don't know the problems? Like, I'm sure Dashers have complained to the customer service. I'm sure the customer service have tons of information on what the problems are. I'm sure they know exactly what merchants complain about, what customers complain about, and Dashers. So all the employees dashing once a month is supposed to try to get to the root of that problem. Like, I'm sure they know what the problem is. I guess they don't know how to fix it, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I think they do. Their version of fixing it is different than what we want. Their version of fixing it is okay, look, we still need to control these people, but we also need to make money. So how do we do that? Like, somebody's probably saying like, well, we could stop controlling them, and they're like, you're fired.
Yeah,
okay, who's next, man? We need the control, guys, but we also need profits. So.
Yeah, and maybe that's the reason why that particular maybe again, he could be like, I'm above this, or he's like, this is stupid, this is not going to work. Why am I? Don't put me somewhere where it's not going to make any sense. Like, I know, right. I'm sure I've been working W-2 jobs where they have new policies, and like, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, why are we doing this? And that could have been it too. But no one's gonna ever put skin in the game and say, this is my name. I make life-changing money, and I can't be dared to be in a car, pick up food. No way. Like, no one's gonna ever do that. No one's gonna do that.
No. And of course they're gonna get it. If you do see Tony doing it, you know how staged that thing is.
Oh yeah. They may even do like a nice slick promotional video, different camera angles.
It could even be in a Hollywood studio though, and you wouldn't know it. Green screen. He's not even really out. He's just faking it.
I mean, he's worth what? 400 million. Which I'm not going. Hey, if I was worth that much money, I'm not going outside to deliver food. They're gonna ransom me. Someone's going to be taken and I'm gonna grab somewhere. So no, it's PR. I think that's the first thing. And like you said, they have a council. They have Dash councils. They have all these organizations that they say that exist. We don't know anything about it. We don't know who's on these councils. They're supposed to help Dashers communicate to corporate. I have no idea what's going on. Like I said, it's just a lot of bad ideas.
Another idea too is like I saw that Willie had said, why don't they just have them watch our videos, And I'm thinking, well, they're never going to do that, but why can't they? Why can't they not obviously put them in the car with Tony, but other people? Why can't they like do some kind of like lottery thing where they're taking even disgruntled drivers and doing a ride along with them for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Let them get a tongue lashing for. Do they make $400,000 a year? They can take a tongue lashing from a driver for 2 hours.
But also, and the reason why
and learn some stuff.
There's probably reasons why they may not even do it is because this talent that they value this talent, and they know that they could be a kind of person. These engineers will be like, hey, listen, I don't like this. And another rival company will say, hey, listen, you don't have to do that. We're going to put you through that one uncomfortable 15-minute experience, and we'll give you the same amount of money, or we'll give you a little more. So DoorDash may turn around and say, okay, yeah, you'll find, like I said, find ways to get out of it. So these companies are very competitive with the talent that basically keeps their company afloat with these engineers, these coders, these really, the math and science folk.
Yeah. It's just, something has to break here, because I was, we all think this every year. Like, okay, this year it's going to, maybe in the start of the year too, they're going to come out with some 10-cent raise, something. They're going to do something for us. And instead, this year, all years, but this year especially already, they're pulling back.
Yeah.
They're already, and they're doing it in bold moves too. Like, hey, you guys aren't happy with your pay, right? Nope. Well, we're going to cut it in half. Like they're just being straight up.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're haggling with someone buying something, but they just keep going lower.
Right, but you're not haggling with them. We've talked in circles around this. Even with Roy and all these other people about like, it's your choice to pick it up. Yeah, but problem is that somebody's gonna pick up those crap orders. It just is. You can. I don't know how low they can go before even the people who pick up crap say enough.
Yeah. And I would love to know what their perfect, like their avatar Dasher or their avatar Lyft driver, like what the ideal person would be. Would it just be a person who just picks up every terrible offer ever? Like how many people they don't have those. I'm sure, is there enough people out there to keep the business going? But it looks like it is. Whereas enough people take the bad order, taking $7 Instacart. Imagine taking a $7 Instacart order. Like it's $7.
Imagine taking a $4 Instacart order.
It's something there, and the only thing we can do is try to educate and try to tell people, hey, this is your worth. This is how much. Do you think it's a good idea to take this order? Like put that seed in their brain, just like talking to a politician. So it's an uphill climb.
It is
to kind of just to make it out here in this gig economy.
Yeah, it is, and. Yeah, by the way, on February 7th or 8th, the Normal Rideshare Rodeo podcast, I have a roundtable with all of the AB5 ProAct people that I've had on: Kim Cavan, Karen Anderson, Gail Gordon, who had the nonprofit Opera House, and Lisa Rothstein, all the big players in AB5 and ProAct and all this stuff. And we're going to be doing a roundtable. So
awesome.
Everybody should join that one, because it's going to be, I think we called it repeal. I think it's just repeal AB5 roundtable. Awesome. But you'll be seeing it come out, and it's definitely gonna be worth checking out. But so So it's in the new year now. What do you got going? What do you are you back? Are you gonna I mean, are you back more? You've been around, I know, but
I've
are
been
you back
around.
more now?
Yeah, I'm gonna do more videos. I'm trying to figure out how to do more video stuff. So it's either on my channel. I've been thinking about doing something totally different, working with other people. I want to do more of this. So whatever that is,
Right.
I'm just thankful
And I
that
remember seeing that you were taking a am I wrong, camera class or something?
Oh yeah,
Why do
yeah.
I think this?
It's on Twitter. Yeah, just
Okay.
I signed up to learn more about you basically just how to create more engaging video stuff. I love it. I watch tons of YouTube videos about it, and that's so saying before. I'm thankful for the gig economy to kind of help me do this where I could be we always say flexible, the flexible freedom, but just idea that I can spend time doing what I love to do and learn what I love to do, as well as work in the gig economy and get paid to pay the bills and keep
Yeah.
the lights on, get the food. So, that's what I've been doing. I'm doing more videos, but yeah, just this is why I'm having fun talking to you, making a video. Like that's why I'm enjoying myself. Delivering food, that's cool. Like I had worse jobs. I'm sure you had worse jobs, but this is my path in life, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, if you noticed, since the last time I got my son and I hung them up today,
Awesome.
the LEDs. That's what he got me for Christmas, and he
Awesome.
actually got me a ring light too. I just don't have. I have the camera still on the computer, so I have it kind of backed up to the light, so it's not doing it correctly, perfect. But
don't worry, you're getting there. You're getting a little upgrade. Yeah. You upgrading a little bit. It's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, without the light, it sucks. So I mean, it's working, and this thing's cool. He got me 60 feet of it, so it goes all the way around my room.
Oh, that's fancy. That's fancy. That's awesome.
65 feet. Yeah, it was crazy, man. It took us a while to hang that today. But and all the effects are way too rowdy for me. I don't know. There's nothing slow and cool in there. I guess you can slow it down, but I'm just learning it. But I mean, it was like everything. I'm like, no. But yeah, I don't know. So interviews are gonna kind of start doing those again.
I may go back into doing that. I'm trying to think of some really unique things. I want to talk more about other ways and other kinds of, let's say gig apps, but other ways to make money. Like the Rapify thing didn't work out all that well. You don't get paid a lot of money to wrap your car, and if you like your car, don't deal with Rapify. Like you like how your car is, it's not that worth that much money.
Rapify is another example of a company that did pay pretty well coming out, though.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Like when they were first here in Denver, I remember like their offer was pretty good.
Yeah.
But now I think it's just, I don't even know if it's here anymore, to be honest.
It's not that. It's not worth it. You might just earn money different ways. But just finding other ways to make money and really talking about, like my path to, personal finance. And, I paid my car off last year. I'm a much better place financially. Trying to get those kind of conversations going. So I think that's the direction I'm thinking we be doing. But hopefully soon I'll be doing some more live streams.
Yeah, and you need to do something with Joe. Dark Road Run.
Oh yeah.
You guys would really have some fun, man. You guys could probably do some cross stream thing or something.
Yeah, actually.
I mean, whenever I talk to Joe sometimes, and I mean, like off the camera, and then like during his streams, I watch him and whatnot. And he says things like, "Well, Hannibal's the only one that has a good camera out of any of you guys." It's like, there he is. Oh, what up, Joe? What'd you think of my collaboration idea? If you've been listening to this.
Yeah, I'll hit him up with a message. We'll talk. Yeah,
Joe always be spying.
Yeah, I see his stuff. It's really, really fan. Like he got some really good equipment.
I'm telling you, I told Joe too, and lately his stuff has been. He loves the idea, but he's been having to take down his stuff. I think after because of copyright stuff or whatever, not after the long streams. Mm-hmm. But he did one the other night that Marissa and I were watching. And it was I've seen him do everything in there, right? But it was one of the scariest things I've ever seen. And I laugh at horror movies. I think they're hilarious. I don't think that there's anything scary about them.
Yeah.
And he was doing some really dark, road run stuff.
He got you. Probably because you wasn't expecting it. Probably, it's usually how you get you get
He had
it
a
when
sickle
and
that Uber hat in the dark shadow, and there was just weird creakiness going up. It was weird.
Oh, he got you because you already have a problem with Uber, so yeah, it just kind of compounded.
But yeah, so guys, I know I'm still getting to the point where I'm trying to read these. I'll get better. It's just taking me some time to try and keep up.
Don't worry.
You guys, the rest of you guys all have a strategy though to like pause and go in and look. And I'm so used to, as a podcaster, just looking at you.
Right.
I'm used to this. Like, I'm just looking at you. I'm not looking to the side to see what other people are saying.
That's why it's sometimes it's a good idea, like, to have your phone used for the comment section or a different screen. Like some people with their stream setups, it's a lot of money. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You kind of pick up a little bit of items as you go. But the same thing when you're trying to create content. Don't worry about the equipment. Make sure your audio sounds good and just do it.
Right.
The ideas in what your story and the storylines and storytelling, that's what we care about. Like Pedro, I mean, he's about to hit 16,000 subs. He's using an iPhone 11. You know what I mean? Like, equipment is not as important as some people may think, but it is nice though.
But it's pretty cool when you watch somebody like Joe's stuff, especially when he does a 7-hour stream and at the end he's like just kind of like bringing it to a conclusion, and he's really bringing it together. It can get, I mean, look at this. Look at his last comment.
Yeah, working. Okay, that's actually very scary. Yeah, imagine you ride you get in a car and some soft stuff, music comes on.
Hey Joe, you gotta like use actors. You can't really do that with real people.
Oh yeah. Don't do that. Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool.
But Hannibal, thank you for being on, and always stoked to have you on and talk.
No problem, man. Anytime, hit me up anytime. I'll be back. Let me know. I'll be around. I'm around.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and now it's the new year. Things have kind of calmed down a bit. I'm sure I'll notice you around more. I feel like all of us have kind of been just all over the place.
It's cold. I'll be in the house. I'll be either in a car delivering food or taking care of dog. I'll be in the house. That's the only 3 things I'll be doing until it starts to get warm again.
Right. So like 3 months.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all for coming. Hannibal and I are super stoked you all made it. And I don't know, keep watching. Next week, Dasher Pass.
Yeah.
Is on here. That's gonna be a cool one, you guys. Like even Dasher Pass Faith doesn't know this yet. She doesn't know that's gonna be super cool because I'm kind of building it off some of the videos she's been doing because they hit home to me with some of the stuff I care about. And so I was like, I can build on this and we could have a really interesting conversation. So it will be very cool, I think.
She's awesome. I'll be there. I'll be there next week.
Yeah. So thank you everybody and have a wonderful night. And what is it, Thursday? Have a good weekend going into the weekend too, you guys. Be safe.
Peace.